Good morning and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you joining us this morning, watching us live. Thank you for that. If you're listening or watching this video later, we do upload these shows to www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast, and we appreciate you watching there as well. Jumping into your traffic, looking pretty rough this morning. Backed up past Millerville, backed up all the way on I-12 westbound to Jubin Road. Looking like a couple of accidents mixed in there. Best to take those surface streets. Of course, that accident is causing people to already go to the surface streets. Looking at delays at 4H Club Road, River Road, and 190 in Denham Springs. So please keep an eye on that. Going to be a rough commute this morning if you're heading into Baton Rouge. It's currently 52 degrees. Wrong. It's currently 43 degrees. Reading the wrong notes here. 66 is your high today, so it's going to get warmer. A little warmer today, but it's going to get down to 52 overnight. Looking at some evening storms going into tomorrow morning. Going to be a small cool front, but you're actually going to see a warming trend later in the week. Going to get up into the 70s, which is kind of interesting for especially February. So looking at some warmer temperatures coming around during the weekend going into next week. We talked about it last week. We did a rough overview of the parish council from last Thursday. Still a few more things to talk about, especially since whenever a month has a fifth full week, tends to be a little dead. Not a whole lot going on unless we have some breaking news, of course. So gonna try to flesh out some of these things that were discussed at the parish council, including during the Jubin Crossan Economic Development District meeting, which is usually the full council, usually comes before a regular meeting of the parish council. They granted Hobby Lobby a tax exemption on property taxes, with the idea that usually those types of things are baked into a lease agreement. In some cases, we were informed by a few councilmen that if you do not give them the tax exemption, they may just walk away and you're left with a big empty building. However, the sales taxes for places like that usually far and away exceed the property taxes that you would collect off of it. The same tax exemption was given to All-Star Nissan and Kia, which of course is right next door to Hobby Lobby. There was also a discussion about zoning. We talked about this the other day. A lot of ordinances that have been regularly requested by citizens are very much hinging upon zoning, according to Parish Council Attorney Chris Moody. Excuse me. This weather up and down is really getting to me. I had a rough day yesterday. I'm going to get there. According to Parish Council Attorney Chris Moody, in order to make certain things enforceable, such as solicitation ordinances and noise ordinances, especially when you want them to be sort of geographically fenced in certain areas, you have to have zoning. You have to be able to describe it within population densities and that kind of thing. If you don't have zoning, you have none of those definitions, and it's very hard to enforce from place to place with just a very general and broad ordinance. So another push for zoning. Mr. Buford Elliott, who is also the chairman of Gravity Drainage District 1's board, asked the council what the status of zoning was, kind of got a room full of laughter. However, money was appropriated for 2020's budget to find a grant to update the master plan and the master drainage plan, or at least the zoning and drainage portion of the master plan up to today's standards. Starting to get to work on that. Talking about getting to work on things, Chairman of the Master Plan Committee, Mr. Gerald Burns, put together a full list over the Christmas holiday using DOTD rough estimates. They gave him, cost per roundabout depending on the size, cost per mile of new road, cost per mile of paved road, cost per mile of expanding a road, that sort of thing, and told him, here's the list. Here's our rubric of costs. He then took the full list of their priority roads that committee had developed and went and gave a cost breakdown of all of the projects. Does not include environmental and engineering, though. Those costs are not usually known until the project is inspected. However, those 14 roads came out to about $115 million of raw cost. One of the things he did say is that the parish needs to be pushing the state, and the state folks need to be pushing the feds for a lot of these projects, because in most cases it's going to take anywhere from 4 to 5 years for them to even see, or for citizens to see asphalt on the ground. So it takes a long time, and if you don't get started now, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The next best time is now. So if you don't get these projects started, it could be years before you even see the first one. Take a look at Cook Road Extension. It is a part of the parish's priority road list. It's funded. The engineering is done. They're just kind of waiting to start. And that's usually how these things go. It's a lot of hurry up and wait. Of course, Cook Road Extension would connect Jubin Boulevard to, which is or Jubin Crossing Way, I guess you would say, which is that main road through Jubin Crossing development to Pete's Highway. So that would be an interesting little. It would follow the interstate basically. So that's a priority road that has been funded, but you can see how long it's taken for that to become a reality. It's actually almost about 10 years. So now you're looking at something like Jubin Road North that would connect Jubin Road, go through 190, go over the railroad tracks, and hit Lockhart. That it's a big project. It's something people want to do, but it's going to cost some money. That one's actually going to be one of the more expensive ones because of the proposed overpass over the Canadian Railroad that runs through there, because Canadian Railroad wasn't real keen on having a railroad crossing there. So again, about $115 million total for those 14 projects, which would see a lot of traffic alleviation, that kind of thing. There were some suggestions for the parish council about things that might need to shift. They'll be working through that. But again, best time to start is now, basically. Mr. Jalen Cook scored his 3,000th point for the Walker Wildcats. We discussed that yesterday. Mr. William Weathers sat down with Coach Anthony Skiro and kind of got a different perspective on Jalen and what he goes through, what his mindset is, how hard he works. One of the stories he told was that, immediately after practice, which was 2 days after he had scored his 3,000th point, he said that he was going to hang around, and his dad showed up, and they continued to do more drills. So he works hard. He's a very focused kid, very disciplined kid. Very loved and very loved by the community, and he continues to march forward for the Walker Wildcats as he barrels towards a career at LSU playing basketball. He has a commitment. So, kid works very hard. We will have Coach Skiro on a podcast next Monday. That'll come out next Monday afternoon. We'll be talking to him about a couple of things. Speaking of podcasts and coaches, we are going to have Miss Sam White, who is the current coach of the Red Hot Doyle Lady Tigers. They are kind of on a run this year that looks like, it looks like their year. Now I know when the coaches hate it when the media says that. So I'm not going to bring it up in the podcast. I'm just going to ask them about their, the things they're going through and that kind of thing. But one of the ladies on the team, Miss Megan Watson, has just an amazing story. You should go read it. It's by Mr. Rob DeArmond. It's www.livingstonparishnews.com/sports. She's currently battles through and plays hard through spine corrective surgery. She has 2 titanium rods and 23 screws in her spine and still plays at a high level for the Doyle Lady Tigers. So read more about her. We're going to ask Miss White a lot about her tomorrow during the podcast that we have with her. The Livingston Volunteers for Family and Community held their annual Christmas program. You can read about that at www.livingstonparishnews.com/living. Mighty Moms is going to have their first women's only event. It's going to be Saturday, February 1st from 10 to 12:30 p.m., so 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Abundant Life Church in Denham Springs. Women of all ages are wanted. They're introducing their 2020 campaign, which is Sponsor a Child. So they're going to give you a breakdown of various dollar amounts that you can donate to Mighty Moms to sponsor a child, depending on, your personal financial circumstances. But anything from $6 to several $100s can go a long way for a child. So again, that's Mighty Moms, Saturday, February 1st, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Abundant Life Church. Women of all ages are wanted and asked to attend. Introducing the 2020 campaign program, which is sponsoring a child, and any variation of monetary donation helps with raising a child, feeding a child, making sure they don't go hungry, and making sure that they can focus in school and have the best environment that they can possibly be given. So thank you, Mighty Moms, for what you do for the community, and thanks for hosting this first women's only event. Going back to your traffic, again, a reminder, heavy delays beginning after Millerville backed up all the way to Jubin Road. So you're going to have a rough commute today because, as you know, that causes delays to shift to Forage Club Road, River Road, and 190. Of course, delays in and around the high schools as they filter their kids in and out. Minor delays on 64 heading into Central with some minor delays on Greenville Springs if you take a left right there. Remember, it's currently 43 degrees, but it's going to get up to 66 degrees. A little sun for a while before we get some evening showers that are going to last through tomorrow morning. It's going to cool off for a couple of days, and then we're actually going to get up into the 70s starting this weekend going into Monday. So again, little rain this evening. It's going to kind of be foggy this morning. Going to get some sun this afternoon before that rain rolls in. One last time, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you joining us for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. If you watched us live, thanks for that. Again, if you watched us online, please remember we do upload these shows to www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. Appreciate you watching there. We are on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. Once a week in print, we are online, www.livingstonparishnews.com. We also have an app to go with that. I don't know why I said our web address so dramatically. Hope you enjoyed that. Again, we will be with you tomorrow morning. We've got several podcasts coming up over the next few days. We hope you enjoy them, but we're going to keep them a surprise. So I'll be back in the booth tomorrow morning. Hope you have a great day. Drive safe in the fog, and we will see you tomorrow.